Summer is winding down, which means parents and students alike are gearing up for another exciting year of learning. Here to share what's on the horizon for the 2024-2025 school year is Dr. Shane Robbins, Superintendent for Dorchester School District 2. Dr. Robbins, great to have you with us today.
Thank you.
Hard to believe school starts this week.
It is. Short summer.
Short summer. And this is earlier than typical start. Why is that?
So one of the initiatives we have is we try to tie in a few days in October to give our staff and our students just that brain break, a fall break, because when you start school in August and you go all the way really pretty much until November before there's really some type of break for our students, and it's just good for their their mental and emotional health, and it gives families a break. Summers are so busy anymore that these fall breaks are very beneficial for families if they want to take a few days and do some things together without the influence of activities in the summer.
Absolutely, that makes a lot of sense. And another change I saw is that I know the South Carolina Department of Education kind of cracked down on cell phone use.
Yes.
How is that impacting Dorchester School District?
Well, it's really interesting because our school board was really ahead of the power curve on that. We had talked with our educators. We know that it's a huge distraction in our schools, so they had already been remodeling their policy. They passed a new policy in June that will go into effect for this school year. And basically the change in the policy is not a huge change, but really more of a focus on enforcement of the policy they had. However, the policy does state that from the start of school day, which is the tardy bell, until the dismissal bell, the phones have to be stored and turned off and out of sight. The only exception to that is we have what's called an individual learning time at our high schools, and so students can access their phones during that block of time, but they will be stored and out of sight during the school day.
Okay, even walking in the hallway, no phones?
No phones.
Apple Watches?
Same thing.
Same thing,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually the policy says not cell phones, it says personal electronic devices. The other thing that we're a big believer in is we provide our students, we're a one-to-one school district, they all have technology, they can access the internet, do their coursework, all those things. So the smartwatches and the cell phones, we really have found to cause an issue with the climate of our buildings.
Yeah. Is there any other changes or initiatives that you're implementing in this school year?
We have, obviously, with the fall break, the other thing that we're going to pilot this year is every Wednesday we're going to release our elementary schools 30 minutes early for professional development time. It's one thing that our elementary educators don't have access to. At the middle schools we use the teaming concept, the high schools they have prep periods, and so they have that PD opportunity. Our elementary teachers arrive to school really early, and so for any PD opportunities, they have to stay late past their contract day. So we're going to try this out. We know there may be a few growing pains with it, but we're trying to make sure it's as least impactful to families as possible. So our car rider lines will have extra adult supervision that if kids can't be picked up, that 30 minutes early, and then we'll make some adjustments to our bus routes as well.
Yeah. And I do want to ask you about academic goals. So where does DD2 stand right now, and where would you like to see it at the end of this academic year?
This is going to be an interesting year, first and foremost, because the state's changing its accountability model, and we're now moving towards a value-added growth model. That's where these PLCs come into play as well. It's really important for us to look at not just performance metrics, but also to look at growth metrics. And we're a very proud school district. We perform really well. We'll never be satisfied with our performance levels, but now it's not just about performance, it's also about growth. And some of the challenges, if you have high achieving students, you still have to demonstrate growth, and so it's a smaller window of opportunity to move those students up. And so that's going to be our focus, is on the growth aspect of our students' performance data. And then at the secondary level, we're really trying to work closely with our community on increasing the amount of work-based learning that we provide our students so they're ready to go into the workforce if they're not going to higher ed, the military, or leaving the community.
And now before we go to break, Dr. Robbins, I want to ask if you have a message you'd like to share to students, parents, and staff before we get on the bus and head into school this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we try to have a theme every year, and I had an opportunity to work pretty closely with our Teachers Forum, which is all of our teachers of the year, and they came out with the theme this year of Soaring to New Heights. But with our administrators, when we kicked off our administrator symposium this week, we really talked about the importance of you win in the locker room first. It's a book by John Gordon and Mike Smith, and the 7 C's of, we don't say building a winning school district, maintaining and elevating a winning school district, because we think we are. And 2 of the big C's in that are culture and climate. And so we know the culture and climate of public ed right now. We're doing our very best. I'm very proud of our board of trying to invest in our people. It shows our retention rates are good, in comparison to some. Our recruiting has been really well. We're filling a majority of our positions, but we're going to really focus on those 2 C's as we roll into this school year.
Wonderful, Dr. Robbins. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks.
We're back after this.